OK, Jem, strap yourself in and keep all your arms and legs inside the Ask SP desk at all times. It's time for a crazy rollercoaster ride of questions.
Sounds thrilling. First up, we have a video from Sebastian.
Hello, Good Game Swarm Points. I have 3 questions for you. 1. How many costumes are there in Super Mario Odyssey? 2. What is the hardest power moon you can think of getting? 3. What is the oldest Super Mario game that you can think of? See you.
Oh, thanks, Sebastian. In answer to your first question about how many costumes there are in Super Mario Odyssey, maybe we should get Darren in to confirm.
Already? OK.
Greetings, Darren speaking.
Hey, Darren, Jem and Goose here. Just wondering how many costumes there are in Super Mario Odyssey.
Well, Jem, at my last count, there were 52 costumes, with more being added at regular intervals. This tally includes Mario's default outfit, unlockable costumes, and those added in updates or as DLC thus far. I've generally counted full outfits rather than individual pieces, with a few exceptions, such as the captain's hat and the invisibility hat, that are just hats, and the skeleton suit and Hakama suit that don't come with hats.
Oh, and are Mario's boxer shorts included in that count too, Darren?
Affirmative, Goose. Though best if we don't speak too much about Mario's undergarments. There's a reason they're called unmentionables.
Oh, I see.
Oh, and earlier this year, some data miners also leaked images of what could be upcoming costumes. So keep an eye out for more additions.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Darren.
You're most welcome. Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye, boy. Now, moving on to the question of the hardest power moon we can think of getting. Well, the jump rope in the Metro Kingdom and the volleyball in the Seaside Kingdom took me ages to nail. But I would say the multi-moon in the darker side is probably the hardest to get, in my opinion. If you count that as a power moon, technically it's worth 3. Not only do you need to finish the main story, but have to have a total of 500 power moons to even get to the darker side, but the challenge of making it through that final level is so arduous.
Oh, yeah, that has got to be the toughest I can think of too. But you know what they say?
What do they say?
Well, you can't spell arduous without us.
Do they say that? What does that even mean?
Well, it means, you know, we like a challenge.
Oh, well, we sure do.
Yeah. Moving on to the oldest Super Mario game that we can think of, well, I believe that would have to be the first Super Mario Bros. For the NES from 1985.
Ah, yes. Mario did appear as Jumpman in the original Donkey Kong arcade game before this. And there was a Mario Brothers arcade game too, but I wouldn't consider these to be Super Mario games.
No, I wouldn't either. You can't spell Super Mario without super, you know, as they say.
Right. They say that too, do they?
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to this question from Alex.
You know what they say about Alex?
What?
You can't spell a roll question.
Hey, GGSP, is Holo Night Available on iPad? P.S. Jem, say this. And also, it's cast you will be attacked by my mutant potatoes. Gotta watch those mutant potatoes.
Ugh.
Well, thanks, Alex. In answer to your question about whether Holo Night is available on the iPad, currently it is not, though it did recently launch on the Switch.
Now, as far as we know, Aussie developers Team Cherry haven't announced any plans to bring the game to iOS. For now, anyway. But if you do like Holo Night, you might like to try some fun, similar style games that are available on iPad, like Dust and Elysian Tale, Dandara, Waking Mars, or Former .8 Go.
Okay, so I guess we'll say from mutant potatoes. I wonder if they're teenage mutant ninja potatoes. I mean, they have baby potatoes, so why not teenage potatoes? And under the right conditions, I don't see why they couldn't mutate.
Jem, you're potato rambling.
Oh, sorry.
Moving on. And speaking of Dust and Elysian Tale, our last question comes from Stefania. Hi guys, I've been playing Dust and Elysian Tale a lot lately, and I'm trying to figure out when the confirmed sequel of this game will be released or announced. P.S. You guys are awesome.
Aw, thanks, Stefania. You're pretty awesome yourself. As to when the sequel to Dust Elysian Tale will be released or announced, well, it's hard to say. Developer Dean Dodrell said back in 2013 he would do a sequel at some point, but it wouldn't be the next game he'd work on.
And since then, it was announced that Dust Elysian Tale is coming to the Switch, but Dodrell seems to have been working on other projects, like Never Stop Sneakin', a humorous arcade-style stealth game that was released earlier this year. So we'll have to stay tuned, I guess.
More like Never Stop Hoping for a Dust sequel.
Yeah, well, as they say, we're out of time, and that concludes the Question Coaster Ride for today. If you'd like to send us a question, go here and do so.
And remember, the video questions we use on the show will score a GGSP pin, so keep them coming. Hey, Goose, are there height restrictions on this question coaster?
There are no height restrictions on any of my metaphors, Jem.
So I'm tall enough to get on?
No, it's not real. Yeah, you'd be fine.
Yeah.